Civil War trailer came out. I was really excited about this when I saw the trailer because both me and Jonathan, Sean, I don't know about you, Zach, but we all read these comics, and they were some of the best moments in Marvel history during writing.
I heard a lot of people diss Civil War, but I do agree. I read some of them, and I got some trade paperbacks, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, that's the thing is, like, yeah, you may not like it or anything, but it's a great concept. It's basically two different people fighting over whether or not superheroes should be masked or unmasked. You know, if the government should be in control of the, identities of the superheroes versus, the freedom to fight crime regardless. And without giving too much away about the comic, basically two sides are, like, even villains are taking the side of some of the superheroes and fighting against the other group of superheroes. It's Captain.
Exactly.
I will say though, great fucking timing when they came out with this, because this is like when a lot of we were starting to realize about the Patriot Act and other things after the attacks of September 11th, and that's when the Civil War kind of hit. That writing, that comic book.
Yes.
I actually personally envision like a new superhero coming out of this, like Edward Snowman or something. And like a government employee who leaks like a bunch of government secrets and also has the power to make snow cones with his feet.
Well, guys, I will put this, and after I say this, I'll just leave it to you guys to speculate.
Yeah,
but
you better.
I will say, this is just from watching the trailer, which, by the way, was awesome. It was so awesome to see Captain America and Bucky, well, I should say Winter Soldier, treat fucking Iron Man like a fucking little bitch and beat the fuck out of him.
Well, I think before Donovan broke up, I think he was sort of gonna go into like just a rundown of the trailer.
Oh yeah, please, sorry, Donovan, go to the rundown.
So it begins with basically Captain America walking in. There's Bucky, and they're like, "I love you," and they get up and they walk out and they're having a great time. You get some different scenes of like the kind of rivalry or tension building up between Iron Man and Captain America. Brief scene where it's like Iron Man saying, "I just want to punch you in the face sometimes," And then there's a lot of action scenes, but basically at the very end of the trailer, it's one of the best scenes. You get to see a bunch of different superheroes fighting against each other, or fighting. You don't know if they're actually like right up against each other, but it definitely looks like it. But the big one is Bucky, and he's like, "You can't treat my friend that way," talking to Iron Man. Captain America, Iron Man's like, "But I'm your friend," and he looks all sad like a hurt little puppy. And then they just start beating shit out of him, both like transferring the shield back and forth and whooping his ass.
Yeah,
30% accurate.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. It was great, but I will say this: what I like what they're doing is something better than what I think the comic did. The comic kind of had it. I felt anyway. The comic was black and white. Iron Man's being a dick, and Captain America's standing up for everyone. And it seemed, when I saw this trailer, it seemed like
you're on Captain America's side?
He's always on Captain America.
Oh yeah, Captain America's my boy. But no, I feel like in this trailer they did a much better job of like showing. It's like, wait a minute, Tony actually, they made me sympathize with Tony Stark. Which is pretty hard because I fucking hated. I've always hated Tony Stark, and I will say I sympathized for the guy, and I actually was like, Captain, you shouldn't be doing that. Maybe Tony's right. Maybe, you know what I mean? It seems like they're going to do a really good job of making you question.
Here's a thing. Sorry. Here's a big thing, and if you can, Sean, I would recommend, because I'm going to put a little bit of spoilers about the comics in this area.
Okay.
So maybe put a time code at the bottom of the screen or something like that to skip ahead.
Okay.
But so in the comic books, Captain America ends up getting shot at the end of the Civil War, kind of going, after I think getting taken into custody, if I remember correctly. He gets shot by Red Skull. Is that correct?
Yeah, Red Skull hired someone to assassinate him.
So he gets shot and he gets killed. Of course, everyone comes back. So, well, no big deal. But this is what's significant about, and again, here we go into theory territory. This is what's important, that Robert Downey Jr. doesn't really want to be Iron Man, but yet he still is. So a theory that I'm pushing out there is the Civil War is going to be the last Iron Man film. This is going to be the point where that's the person that gets knocked off, not Captain America, which would be a twist in the comic books, whoever read them, and a great way to get Iron Man actually out of there.
Well, there's a couple things. Things wrong with that.
Totally.
Okay, shoot it.
Okay.
Well, I
No.
know for a fact that Spider-Man is supposed to make a cameo, and
right.
I know that he's getting his own movie,
which he revealed himself in the comic books or the Iron Man side.
Yeah, he was with Iron Man. In the movies, he's supposed to be teaming up with Iron Man to help him, make his web shooters and stuff like that. So I don't think that Iron Man or Tony Stark's character will die in Civil War. And the reason I say that is because all those original actors are coming to the end of their contracts, and we still have 2 more Avengers movies. And there's been a lot of after Age of Ultron. I mean, there's basically all new Avengers teams. So yeah, just like in the comics, the Avengers are all interchangeable and you get new members all the time. But if somebody did die, who would replace that character? Now, if they killed off Robert Downey Jr., there's really no one in line to become Iron Man. And there were some people saying the kid from Iron Man 3 would be his heir and shit like that. But that kid's, no one gives a shit. He forgot about him a long time ago. But there are at least 2 characters that in the comic books have been Captain America before, and that would be Bucky and the guy who plays Falcon. Which
is also in the trailer and he was recently in the Ant-Man movie as well.
Yeah, and the Falcon is a popular character, and he's positioning himself to be a bigger player in the MCU. So, I would think that if somebody was going to get killed off, it would be Captain America, and then somehow would come back, because there's a lot of speculation that both Iron Man and Captain America are going to be in the Spider-Man movie. So if Captain America does get killed off, he might be resurrected in the Spider-Man movie, or one of these other characters might take up the mantle, become a new Captain America.
I actually don't think that this is the final series or movie in the Civil War series. This isn't just going to be it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they got their timeline laid out.
That's what I'm saying. Is so I'm not saying that Iron Man or Captain America are going to die during this one movie right here. I'm saying that if anyone's going to be knocked off, it's going to be a little bit down the road, but it's going.
Yeah, I agree. Robert Downey Jr. for a couple of reasons. And by the way, you don't need someone to replace Iron Man. Have Iron Man pass away or die.
And you already got
you have War Machine, but you can also insert some other superhero you're building up. You don't always have to have Iron Man to have an Avengers story, in my opinion, in the story, the story arc. But I will say, I think it will be him. For one, it's Robert Downey Jr., and he costs a lot of fucking money. So, he costs a lot more money than the other guys.
Just to draw a quick comparison between Civil War and Batman vs. Superman, I think that the Civil War trailer, I was a lot more excited about it. And in the movie called Batman vs. Superman, you expect them to fight, and the trailer kind of gave away at the end. So if the Civil War trailer came out and it was Bucky and Captain America beating the shit out of Iron Man, and the last scene was someone else showing up and then Iron Man and Captain America shaking hands and fighting them, it's that's going to give away what's going to happen. Because right now we don't know we don't know if Captain America's going to die. We don't know if Iron Man's going to die, but we do know that Superman versus Batman's going to end with a team up.
I think that what should have happened is at the very end of the Civil War trailer, they're beating the shit out of Iron Man, and then it says Civil War, and then the very last scene, it just shows all 3 of them in bed, looking really awkward.
Smoking.
What happened?
I will say that, not to go back to the previous subject, but it was
Black Panther too.
Yeah, Black Panther.
Black Panther.
They destroyed the gimmick of the whole movie with that last trailer. But Black Panther's going to be in it, which is awesome. I love Black Panther.